let's head south. The start was the same as the previous day, but I was eager to leave the transit road and wander in the backcountry on a smaller road. D69, nice, delivered on its promise. We have found the layback riding which we were so desperate for. Col de Verde was the first major attraction. The road winding up on the side of the hill gave me an alpine feeling right away. High mountains all around, it was hard to imagine we were on an island and not in the middle of the Alps. The peaks looked endless, they could easily go on for 1,000 more miles. We were lucky. The traffic, and especially the motorcycle traffic, was very low. Just us and nature. And of course, chestnuts. Now we were sure it's delicious, so we wanted to reproduce the sweet taste of the crab from Bastille at home. So we stopped immediately and we spotted a promising tree. I'm always eager to get to know the local animals, but apparently they are not so keen on this. It's not a new thing. Just check out these old photos, this is an obsession of mine for a long time now. As we marched forward the south, we finally saw some motorcyclists, and the surroundings got more barren. The condition of the roads were erratic, some places reminded me of Sicily, and not in a good way. As we take on these seemingly endless bends, let's talk a little about the island. Corsica is the fourth largest island in the Mediterranean, after Sicily, Sardinia and Cyprus. A single chain of mountains makes up 2/3 of the island. Monte Cinto is the highest peak at 2,706 meters, but the rest of the peaks have nothing to be ashamed of. Around 120 other summits are more than 2,000 meters high. The island is, at its furthest points, 183 km long and 83 km wide. It has about 1,000 km of coastline with more than 200 beaches, so enough variety for the whole holiday season. As of January 2024, it had a population of more than 355,000 people, but don't quote me on this. Corsica is the third least populated region of France, and it shows. It can be really peaceful, but then you see the traffic signs full of bullet holes and wonder maybe it's a good thing they have so much space to spread out from time to time. At last we were back to the sea. On this road, we saw more motorcyclists than on the other days altogether, I swear. Bonifacio is located at the southern end of the island, right next to the sea, as all good ports are, and it is separated from Sardinia by the Strait of Bonifacio. It is a city placed on the best and only major harbor of the southern coast. The city of Bonifacio is split into two sections: the old town, or La Haute Ville, the upper city, with the citadel, which is located on the promontory overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. The citadel was built in the 9th century with the foundation of the city. The citadel has been reconstructed and renovated many times since its construction, and most recently was an administrative center of the French Foreign Legion. Today it is more of a museum. Historically, most of the inhabitants have resided in the Haute Ville under the immediate protection of the citadel. The harbor facilities and the residential areas below, La Marine, line the narrow shelf of the inlet and extend for some distance up to the valley, giving the settlement a linear appearance. Sadly, one of the main attractions of the sea tour was not available. The amazingly dexterous captains of the ships used to ride the waves, to be precise, the valley between the waves, and sail inside the cave. It was somewhat frightening for the passenger, but exciting at the same time. Now, because of some rockfalls, it was not possible. The city was founded as a fortress by and subsequently named after Bonifacio II of Tuscany in 828. He had led a naval expedition to suppress the Saracens of North Africa and returned to build an unassailable fortress and naval base from which the domains of Tuscany could be defended at the outmost frontier. Most of the citadel postdates the 9th century or is of uncertain date, but the Il Torrena, the round tower, was certainly part of the original citadel. The bunker on the edge of the rock reminded me of an old movie, The Guns of Navarone. Not an exact match, but the vibe was the same. The city and its fortifications also extend for some distance along the cliff tops, which are about 70 meters high. The cliffs have been undercut by the ocean, so that the buildings which have been placed on the very lip of the abyss appear to be overhanged. The appearance from the sea is of a white city gleaming in the sun and suspended over the rough waters below. The day passed quickly. We had little time to get home, so we chose the flat and straight road on the eastern coast and rode home for our well-earned baguette, brie cheese and local beer, the Pietra, which contains chestnut flour, of course. It's not an old one, the brewery opened in 1996, so it doesn't have the rich and long history as some other brands in Europe, but it has a unique taste, and it's quite refreshing after a long day of sweating in the sun. next time we will visit whatever we have missed in the last days.